They told us to follow the news, to pick a side, to defend your values, to fight for what's right. They gave us an enemy, then another, then another. Left versus right, citizen versus immigrant, conservative versus liberal. And while we were busy fighting, nobody was watching the ones pulling the strings. Networks you've never heard of, and a darkness most of humanity isn't ready to face. This is not entertainment. It's a memory pulled from the field of consciousness itself, the one you'll never find on the internet. This is UNREDACTED. Every day we wake up to more chaos, more injustice, more headlines that feel like gut punches, and beneath it all, a question. One we don't say out loud too often, but it echoes in the heart. When will this end? Who's going to stop the pain? Who's going to bring justice? We see the wars. We feel the division. We sense the systems collapsing. And even when we try to shield ourselves from the noise, we can still feel it. And maybe like me, you've asked yourself, how can I help if I feel so helpless? Am I being indifferent if I look away to protect my peace? Because deep down, you want to help. You want to hold the light. But the pain of the world is so heavy, and you're just one human being. Something bigger is happening beneath the chaos, something the headlines aren't talking about. And to understand what's happening right now, we must understand our past. Not the history we were taught in school. The real one. Because what was hidden from us is the key to everything we're witnessing today. It didn't start with Epstein. It didn't start with Wall Street or Washington. It started much further back, in a time when humanity still remembered. When we shared one language, not just of words, but of frequency and consciousness. These weren't primitive beings. They were highly attuned, operating with knowledge we are only beginning to recover. They understood sacred geometry, sound, and the mechanics of creation, and together, they were unstoppable. These were the people of Babylon, once humanity's most advanced civilization, a place of sacred wisdom, unified consciousness, and genuine knowledge. But it was infiltrated and corrupted, becoming the earliest blueprint for control that would be copied for millennia. At the center of that world stood one of the most misunderstood moments in human history. A massive construction, not built out of arrogance, but as a demonstration of what a unified humanity could achieve. History calls it the Tower of Babel. But what happened next was never about punishment, it was about control. Ancient Sumerian texts, among the oldest written records on Earth, describe powerful non-human entities who shaped early human civilization. They were called the Anunnaki. And when they witnessed what a unified humanity was capable of, when they saw the tower rising, not just as a structure but as proof of what humans could achieve when they worked together, they understood the threat. A species this connected, this conscious, this unified, could never be controlled. So they made their move. Divide the language, scatter the people, fragment the memory. The Anunnaki understood the human mind because they helped design it. And what can be designed can be reprogrammed. Overnight, neighbors became strangers, communities fractured, and the people scattered across the earth, divided by language, by land, by belief. And with the scattering came the forgetting, the shared memory of who they were, what they could do, and how the universe actually worked, dissolved into fragments across 100 different cultures. Sacred knowledge was seized and locked away, accessible only to a small inner circle. This wasn't divine punishment, it was architecture, the first blueprint of control, and it never stopped running. One day humanity was unified and unstoppable. The next, scattered, fragmented, and forgotten. because a unified humanity was too dangerous to allow. The blueprint that fractured humanity in Babylon didn't die there. It was handed down. The Anunnaki, as a collective, eventually withdrew from direct involvement with humanity, but not all of them left. Some stayed, not in their original form, but through their hybrids. Beings that were part Anunnaki, part human. Enough human to walk among us. Enough Anunnaki to carry the knowledge, the capabilities, and the agenda. These hybrid bloodlines became the foundation of what we now call the elite. The royal dynasties, the ancient priesthoods, the inner circles that survived every fallen empire, not chosen because they were worthy, but engineered to be the management layer between the rest of humanity below, and the non-human forces above, and those forces above were not human either. Ancient Gnostic texts, the Nag Hammadi scrolls discovered in Egypt in 1945, describe powerful non-physical entities they called archons, interdimensional forces that feed on human fear, confusion, and disconnection. And Sumerian clay tablets describe reptilian-like beings of advanced intelligence who continued operating long after the Anunnaki withdrew, but from the shadows. 3 groups. 1 network. Elite human bloodlines. Archonic forces. Reptilian intelligences. And the thread connecting them all was knowledge. The knowledge that consciousness creates reality. We were taught that rituals and spells were myth, superstition, primitive thinking. But quantum mechanics tells us something different. Focused intention affects physical reality. Collective energy directed toward a single outcome produces measurable results. Rituals are not magic. They are technology. And while the population was kept distracted, divided, and disconnected from their own creative power, the inner circle was using that same power to shape reality to their benefit. They knew what we were never supposed to remember, that attention is energy, and energy directed with intention creates worlds. This network didn't just move through time. It built the systems we still live inside. In Egypt, mystery schools guarded forbidden knowledge behind initiation walls. In Rome, one church became the single interpreter of God and burned everything that contradicted it. In Europe, royal bloodlines were carefully managed across centuries. Then came the banks, the institutions, the corporations, different costumes, different eras, same inner circle. The people at the top of your world didn't get there by accident. Not the politicians, not the celebrities, not the media titans or the tech billionaires. They were identified, groomed, strategically placed. Some were born into bloodlines already inside the network. Others were recruited, spotted for their talent, their ambition, or their vulnerability. Because vulnerability is a doorway, and the network knows exactly how to walk through it. Entertainment, sports, media, politics, science, finance. Every industry that shapes human perception has been infiltrated, because controlling what people watch, what they eat, who they admire, and what they believe is more powerful than any army. Cultural icons are not just famous people. They are instruments of identity, and identity shapes reality. When millions direct their attention and emotional energy toward a figure controlled by the network, that energy gets harvested, redirected, used, and the ones who rise highest in this system don't just enjoy their position, they maintain it, they protect it, they recruit for it, because beneath the red carpets and the boardrooms and the political stages, there is a much darker infrastructure holding it all together. Wars fought for profit, economies engineered for dependency, wealth concentrated in fewer and fewer hands, not by chance, but by design. And beneath even that, something the public isn't supposed to see at all. Ask yourself, Why the Middle East has been a war zone for thousands of years, not decades, thousands of years. We were told it's about religion, about oil, about ideology, but the conflict in that region is far older than any of those explanations. The entire Middle East sits on one of the most powerful intersections of ley lines on Earth. The energetic grid that runs beneath our planet's surface, the same grid the ancients built their sacred sites on, runs directly through Iraq, Iran, Syria, Egypt, and Israel. This land has been fought over for millennia not because of what's above the surface, but because of what's beneath it. Ancient technology, consciousness-based tools, artifacts that predate every civilization we were taught about in school. Devices built on the principles of sound, frequency, and subtle energy, capable of things our current science is only beginning to theorize about. And every time war breaks out in that region, certain things disappear. When Baghdad fell in 2003, the National Museum was looted. But it wasn't random chaos. It was targeted. Specific artifacts vanished, Sumerian tablets, ancient instruments, objects with no official explanation. Gone, before anyone could study them, before the public could ask questions. Because the most dangerous thing in the world isn't a weapon. It's a human being who remembers what they're truly capable of. Sound can shatter stone and heal tissue. Frequency can alter consciousness and bend physical matter. Intention, focused, collective, coherent intention, can create and dismantle reality itself. The ancients knew this. They built civilizations around it. And the network has spent thousands of years making sure we forgot. The war in the Middle East was never about religion. It was always about keeping you away from the land, away from what's buried beneath it, away from the truth of who you are and what your ancestors knew. As long as that region burns, no one asks questions, no one investigates, no one discovers what's hidden beneath the sand. The conflict is not a consequence of history. It is the strategy. Because a humanity that remembers its own power cannot be harvested. The network didn't just need to control governments and economies. It needed to control something far more powerful, human attention. Because where attention goes, energy flows. And energy is the real currency of this world. So the system was upgraded, made invisible, made comfortable, made entertaining, through mechanisms so embedded in daily life, most people never even question them. Exhaustion. The first mechanism is the simplest. Keep people tired, not just physically, existentially. Long work weeks, underpaid jobs, a cost of living that rises faster than any salary, dreams that require decades of debt just to begin chasing. A tired human cannot question, cannot create, cannot remember who they are. They can barely keep up with life. And that is exactly the point. Emotional chaos. The second mechanism targets the nervous system directly. Bad news every day, a scandal every month, a war every year. Because a nervous system in constant crisis mode cannot access clarity, cannot trust intuition, cannot think beyond survival. Fear contracts human consciousness, and contracted consciousness is controllable consciousness. Emotional energy becomes currency, and the system has been collecting it for a very long time. Manufactured aspiration. The third mechanism is the most elegant. Make people want what the system is selling. Luxury culture isn't accidental, it's engineered. Designers, influencers, celebrities, musicians, socialites, all interconnected, all carefully positioned to shape desire. But here's what most people don't realize about the faces they admire. Many of them didn't choose this life. They were chosen for it. Identified young, groomed carefully, offered everything: fame, money, access, in exchange for something they didn't fully understand they were giving away: their autonomy, their image, sometimes their identity. Because inside the network, talent is just a vehicle. The real product is influence. An influence over millions of minds is worth more than any record deal or movie contract. Some of these figures have tried to speak out, but before they could say too much, they disappeared. And when they re-emerged, something was different. They looked vacant, soulless, like someone else was behind their eyes, like they were no longer themselves. Some had very public breakdowns that the media turned into entertainment. Some died in unusual circumstances, young, suddenly, at the height of their influence, and the headlines moved on within a week. Who they marry, what they say, what they wear, what they represent, none of it accidental. All of it directed. Entertainment is sedation. The fourth mechanism keeps the pressure valve regulated. Endless streaming, sports obsession, reality television, manufactured drama, not inherently evil, but weaponized with precision. When the population gets restless, drop a scandal, drop a breakup, drop a beef between two famous names. It works every time. The Romans called it bread and circuses. Keep the population fed and entertained, and they will never look up long enough to see who is running the show. And the ones running the show never mix with the audience. They move in sealed circles. The same families, the same bloodlines, the same names appearing in the same rooms across generations. They date each other, marry each other, do business with each other, protect each other. From the outside, it looks like glamour and coincidence. From the inside, it's a contract, a closed ecosystem designed to keep power concentrated and the circle impossible to enter or exit. Biological interference. The fifth mechanism is the most insidious because it targets the body itself. Food engineered to hijack cravings. Addictive by design, filled with preservatives, banned in dozens of other countries. Legal in the US, because the gut is the second brain, and a disrupted gut mutes intuition. Water fluoridated in ways that calcify the pineal gland, the seat of perception, clarity, and inner vision. A calcified pineal means lower awareness, and lower awareness means easier control. A healthcare system built around treatment, never healing, designed for dependency, optimized for profit. Chronic illness keeps people too overwhelmed, too medicated, too exhausted to ask why they keep getting sicker in a world with so much medical advancement. Educational programming. This last mechanism starts before we're old enough to question it. From childhood, we are handed a script. Sit down, memorize this, don't ask why. An education system not designed to develop critical thinkers, but to produce compliant workers who know their place in the hierarchy. And the history we were taught? Full of gaps, full of convenient omissions. The stories that would make us question the system simply weren't in the curriculum. We were never taught how to think. We were taught what to think. And by the time most people realize the difference, decades have already passed. The complete engine: exhaust the body, overwhelm the emotions, redirect desire, sedate the mind, disrupt intuition, program the behavior. All of these mechanisms serve one purpose: to keep us disconnected from our intuitive and creative power. Because a humanity that is rested, clear, and connected to itself cannot be controlled, and the system knows it. For thousands of years, the system operated in darkness, hidden behind institutions, behind bloodlines, behind closed circles and sealed contracts. But something is shifting, and the darkness is starting to show. Because there is a force the network never fully accounted for. human consciousness rising. And as human frequency rises, the architecture of control becomes visible. The lies become obvious. The patterns become undeniable. The masks begin to slip. And nothing illustrates this more clearly than what we now call the Epstein files. For decades, a network operated in plain sight. Parties attended by the most powerful people on Earth. An island. A private jet with a very specific passenger list. A collection of information so dangerous that the man at the center of it was found dead in a maximum security cell, with the cameras off, and the guards asleep. But here's what the headlines missed. This wasn't one man's operation. This was the ancient harvest system, in a modern costume. Look at who was in that circle. Politicians who start wars and vote on your rights. Billionaires who own the media that tells you what to think. Celebrities who shape your identity and desires. Designers who dress the most powerful people on Earth. Academics who write the history books. Spiritual leaders who tell you where God is. Every system we walked you through in this scroll had a representative in that room. And here's what the field is revealing, that most investigations never reach. The network wasn't just about blackmail. It was about binding, creating unbreakable loyalties between the people running interlocking systems, through secrets they could never speak about publicly. Mutual destruction as loyalty. And the financial structures behind that network? They don't disappear when the headlines do. The same constellation of holding companies and investment firms appear as major stakeholders in defense contractors, and in the media companies that cover the wars those weapons are used in, and in the pharmaceutical companies that treat the casualties, and in the food corporations that are making us sick in the first place, and in the banks that hold your mortgage, and in the hospital where you were born. Think about that. You are born in a hospital they own, fed food they manufacture, educated in a system they designed, entertained by media they control. You get sick from the food they sold you, and treated with medication they produce. You live in a house with a mortgage from their bank, and at every single stage, they profit. This isn't capitalism gone wrong. This is the Babylon blueprint in a suit and tie. And the wars? The wars are the reset button. When the population gets restless, a conflict begins. Funded by the same hands, covered by the same media, treated by the same pharmaceutical companies, rebuilt by the same construction conglomerates. The e-files weren't separate from this. They were the social infrastructure holding it all together. The island and the jet were relationship maintenance for the people running these interlocking systems. One organism, many limbs, one agenda. But the files exist. The names are being revealed, and the frequency of this planet is no longer low enough to keep it buried. We are in the purge phase, the phase where what has been hidden for millennia cannot stay hidden any longer. The collapse isn't chaos. It's exposure, and exposure is the beginning of liberation. So what do we do with all of this? We've walked through thousands of years of hidden architecture. We've seen how the system was built, how it spread, and how it operates today. And it's heavy, we know. But here's what the system doesn't want you to understand. The moment you see it clearly, it loses power over you. Awareness is not passive. It is the most radical act available to us right now, because a human being who is awake, grounded, and emotionally coherent is something this system was never designed to handle. Let's talk about where your attention is right now. The politicians, the ones in power, the ones making your blood boil every single day. They were not chosen by you. They were placed, put there by the network we've been talking about this entire time. They are puppets, visible, loud, and infuriating, designed to keep your eyes on the stage while the real operators work in the shadows. And while you're focused on the puppet show, The Epstein files are being buried. The network operates freely. And you are being kept from realizing the one thing they are truly terrified of: the power you hold and the power you become when you unite with others who are awake. They are hijacking your nervous system on purpose. The shock, the bad news, the outrage. It's a strategy designed to keep you dysregulated, distracted, and divided. You don't need to fight it. You need to stop feeding it. Stop feeding it with your fear, your outrage, your despair. Regulate your nervous system. Protect your energy. Choose coherence over chaos. Because coherent humans shift timelines, not through protest, not through rage, through the quality of their consciousness. Your attention is not passive, it is creative. Where you place it, you feed it. And what you refuse to feed starves. The revolution has already begun. In the minds, in the hearts, in the quiet moments when someone decides they are done being managed and starts remembering who they really are. Your power is not in fighting corruption. It's in reclaiming your consciousness. Awakening is the real revolution.